you're volunteering with other organizations, you're taking care of families, you're being in relationships, you're going to school, you're working full-time, you're trying to enjoy retirement, and yet you still find time to get out and help. And we really appreciate that. Not only do your parks benefit, but your city and your community and the water and the plants and the critters all benefit, and thank you, but they don't have the means to say thank you. So that's why we're here, to say thank you for everything that you do. And we know that you don't get out and do these things in order to get praise, but I just don't think that it can be said enough. So thank you from all of us. It's a pleasure getting to work with each and every one of you, and I really look forward to what we can do together in 2018. Thank you. So at this point, we usually try to do something a little nice and give you guys a gift for all of your work. I know we don't always have pizza or swag or anything at our events. So this is our opportunity to give something out to say thank you. And this year, can I have one of those? This year we've got these cooling wraps. You get them wet, and you can put them on your head. You can wear it as a do-rag. You can put it around your neck. And supposedly it keeps you cool, and I've heard they work pretty well. I haven't field tested it yet, but I'm sure I'll have plenty of opportunities. So this is what we've got for you guys this year. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to call your name or your organization's name. Please stand up. Our horticulturists are going to be distributed around the room to give you your gift. And then once everybody has their gift, we'll then acknowledge everybody with applause. Nate Weston. And can you get him too? There's someone else that needs one. Becky Roward isn't able to be here today. Christina Castro. Oh, and they're with the Beaver Watershed Alliance, by the way. Christina Castro and Joe Melancon. I've never actually asked you how to pronounce your last name. I butcher French. I never took it in high school. I've heard it ever since then. They're with the Northwest Arkansas Charitable Gamers Association, formerly known as Chaotic Darkness Guild, and they were our Volunteers of the Year 2 years ago? Or was it last year? 2 years? Okay, yeah. Cody Villar, Cub Scout Pack 46. Garnet Wise with the Environmental Action Committee. Connie Reaper Estes and Jason Estes with Greedy Goats of Northwest Arkansas. Mandy and Denny Warren. Are y'all here today? Yay, okay. With Generations Health and Wellness Center. Karina Mesa and Sarah Eichman with the Holcomb Girl Scouts troop. Didn't make it today. Stephanie Birchfield and Casey Rector with the Illinois River Watershed Partnership. Thank you guys. Colin Massey with the Lake Fayetteville Watershed Partnership and Extension Office. And the EAC. Colin wears lots of hats. Susan Sullivan, Kat Weiser, and Megan Morales with the Lake Sequoia Riding Club. Matt Poe and Chris Langford with Motor Studio. Nan Lawler and Richard Covey with the Northwest Arkansas Master Naturalists. Rick Jones is also with that group. Rick Wise and Joseph Bada with U of A Microelectronics Photonics Graduate Program. Chris White and Sandy Montero with the Northwest Arkansas Tobacco and Drug Free Coalition. Bob Cadwallader and Mike Mosley with the NWA Horseshoe Pitchers Association. Sim Barrow, is Sim here today? No, he's with the NWA Land Trust. Dennis Carter and Jim Harris with the Ozark Flyers. H.B. Fink, Steve Pereira, Brandon Pack, and Chuck Maxwell with the Ozark Off-Road Cyclists. Don Cox and Fred Meek with the Ozark Volleyball Association. Sarah Smith and Christine Rourke, they get out and clean our trails together. Lisa Netherland, I don't think she needs any acknowledgement. I mean, not acknowledgement, introduction. I knew I would do that at some point. Oh boy, I love you, Lisa.
You are blushing. I love you too.
Don Stanton, Doug Brooks, and Les Laba with the Sequoia Kiwanis Club. Ben Owen with Shelter Insurance. Joel Jerusa with Temple Shalom. Is Joel here? Katrina Tallwill with Tyson Foods. Hal Cup, who is one of our trail trekkers. Joyce Mendenhall with the Extension Service. Master Gardener. Pete and Margot Heinzelman with the Fayetteville Natural Heritage Association. Mike McMullen with the Unitarian Universalists of Fayetteville. Chelsea Tatlow and Chloe Hannum with the U of A Women's Swim and Dive Team. Rose Gergerich, Master Naturalist. Lauren Hawkins and Aubrey Shepherd with the World Peace Wet Prairie. Danny Dingman, Jill King, Judy Smith, Ruth Cohoon, and Jorge Luna. They are all Master Gardeners that help us out. Charles Duell and Sarah Ashley with the Washington County Prosecutor's Office. J.R. Hinkson and Autumn Parker with the Walton College. And Jordan and Laura Marsh with Boy Scout Troop 102. All right, let's get ourselves a big round of applause. Okay, does everybody have your raffle tickets? Okay, that's so we've got a drawing. We've got some really nice little things for y'all to choose from. These tiles came from when the castle was built. Terra Studios brought us several tiles to choose from, and some of them were put into the castle project, but we have others that were left, and so we've got 12 of these tiles. And we also have inkberry hollies. And you can select between any of these. If you do get the holly, just pull the tag and someone can help you guys out to your car with it. So let's go ahead and draw our first. All right, 649161. So you can take your pick of any of the tiles, right, or one of these. Absolutely, shrubs. I'll grab one of these tiles. Thank you, guys. Thank you. 649158. 649158. 649213. 213. 649170. 649166. Excuse me, Aubrey. Ma'am. 649166. What did you say? Oh, 166. I think we got to take her. 649159.
They're getting the twos, Christina. Hey, Suzanne. Sorry.
All right, we're halfway through.
I'm glad you made it. Yeah, this is the first time.
649206. Wait a minute.
I think I'm 209. Oh, how you doing?
We're ready to buy 2 more acres.
It's out there?
Yeah, hoping to set up a box of course.
Cool.
Send that off into the cart.
649154.
That's not good.
Still have some 2-year-old pumpkins.
649210.
This is a pretty style. Very.
649162. Oh yeah, you can speak up. 649187. 187. 649191.
Don't carry it to your car.
649-215. Okay, looks like we've got 3 tiles and 1 plant left. 649-201. 201.
That would have been very.
Well, I got a friend.
One 177.
Okay.
177. Last call, 177.
I guess.
You can have either this plant or one of those 2 tiles.
Is this something you can plant outside?
It's recommended.
I didn't know if it was just a house plant.
All right, it's down to the last 2 tiles. 649-214. 214.
Is that cheese?
You can just sit that down. Thank you. All right, and last one. 182.
I would like to introduce a man who needs no introduction, but Mayor Jordan would like to say a few words.
Well, I had a folder in here, but it seems to be gone now.
Was it your speech?
Yeah, sort of. I want to run some numbers by y'all, thank you. But it is great to be here today. We'll start off with that. Yay! I want to thank the volunteers. Y'all are really making things go around here. And I wanted to run just a few numbers. We pulled some numbers on Parks volunteers. In 2017, Parks volunteers dedicated just under 12,000 hours from January 2017 through December of 2017. In a year, you volunteered 12,000 hours of volunteer work to this city. Yay! And that total is 17% over the hours donated in 2016. So the volunteer program continues to grow. Actually, this city last year we're a city of around 82,000, but our volunteer programs was about 35,000 citizens volunteered, close to 600,000 hours of volunteer work in this city. And then in the work y'all done, it's 110 groups and 37,700 individuals logged those hours. And the value of that, it comes up to just a shade under $300,000. So I want to thank you. Thank you as the mayor of this city for your work. I want to thank you. I mean, and then, you know, there's you all do the trail cleanup, you make sure the parks, the invasive plant removal program. Hey, how about that? You know, we cleaned up an area off I-49, just to give you a little idea of how the invasive plants are moving into this city. I-49, it was a state entryway, and I said, we want to clean up that area, because I'd gone in there and ran into a lot of privet and honeysuckle and the Bradford pears, which I did not know that, but these had actually grown thorns on them, which got my attention pretty quick, and a shirt. So, you know, we cleaned that up, and I told staff, and I said, when you clean that up, be sure that you leave all the native trees and clean everything else out. And that whole area, which is about half the size of a football field, and that one entryway had 6 trees left. And it was full. So that shows you how the invasive plants are invading this city and why we need to remove them, eradicate them. Because we owe that not only to ourselves, but we owe that to the next generation, our children and our children's children. Right? We owe them. So again, I want to thank you for your volunteer work. Because of you, we're making this stuff happen around here. I just ask you one question today before I get off this podium. Don't you just love this city, folks?
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to make mention today, a lady by the name of Susan Driver. Some of you probably knew her. I did not have the privilege to meet her, but she passed away earlier this year. But she was instrumental in helping the Parks Department get the HMR tax in the early 90s, which is a hotel, motel, restaurant tax. And she was also an avid volunteer, and part of her obituary, in lieu of flowers, she asked people to donate to her volunteer program. And so someone donated $500 in her name, and that's what bought us this food today. So I'd just like to acknowledge that. 2017 was a good year for parks. We celebrated our 50th anniversary of the Parks and Recreation Department with the city. We had a big grand opening of a new playground at Wilson Park. We also opened up our new Kessler Regional Park. We had soccer and baseball out there. And then our in-house trail crew built over 2.5 miles of hard surface trail this year. So we're adding a lot of amenities, a lot of things to come. The Cato Springs Trail, the one that they're working on, is almost complete. They're at the interchange with 49. Once that's complete, the regional park will be connected to the Greenway. So some really great things. So we have now have over 43 miles of hard surface trail in the city. We had another 4.5 miles of nature trail built on Kessler Mountain and Gregory Park. So we now have 37 miles of nature trail in the city. And we have over 3,700 acres of parkland that we maintain in the city. So that's a big infrastructure. A lot of nice amenities are coming. As a maintenance superintendent, when I see that, I see a lot of work that needs to be done. There's a lot to maintain, a lot to keep nice. We have 32 full-time maintenance staff. So if you do the numbers on our maintenance staff to acre ratio, we've got one person responsible for about 115 acres to do. So it's a daunting task, and there's no way that we can do what we do without your help. I was looking at some of the numbers Christine had put together, and we had 3,200 people, or 3,700 people, donate all those hours that Mary Jordan talked about. So then that's for a 1 acre per 1 volunteer ratio, which is much more doable. So 1 acre, 3,700 acres, 3,700 volunteers. So we're gonna have a sign-up sheet at the end. Everybody can sign up. But no, really, we are very thankful for the work that you do. We couldn't do what the things that we maintain and offer the services that we provide without a core volunteer group such as we have and the dedication that you show. And I also would like to brag on Christine a little bit. You know, her work organizing the group, hitting a new record number of hours, it is remarkable. She's done a great job. Yeah. So let's give her a hand. We attended our national Parks and Recreation Conference this last year. Our maintenance supervisor and I were there, and there was a session that was labeled, "Watch out, here comes the volunteer coordinator." So I thought that was pretty funny. But with that being said, I'd like to introduce Christina.
Thank you, Byron. Thank you, everybody, again for being here. I'm Christina. I know a lot of you, and I've gotten to meet several of you that are new volunteers today. So if we haven't met before, please come up and help me put a face with the name, because it really does mean a lot to me to get to know each and every one of you. We're going to be acknowledging some of the great work that's been happening over the last year, but first, there are a few people I'd like to recognize for their help in making sure that this event went off without a hitch today. Connie, as Byron mentioned, is not able to be with us today, and I know she's here in spirit. Byron, my supervisor, has been instrumental in helping with this. Our parks horticulturists, Tina Buxton and Roxanne Worthy, and their crews always help with serving food and getting everything set up, so thank you to you guys for all of your help with this. Our music crew, Jeff Coles, he's our recycling and trash director. And Bob Miller, who is our turf specialist with the maintenance crew, is here with us. And then Jeff brought his son along with him today. His name is Spencer Coles. Thank you so much, Spencer. Our coffee today was donated by Jam and Java, and also I want to extend a big thank you to the Washington County Cooperative Extension Office for letting us use this space today and for the last several years. So while I'm giving thanks, I'm just going to jump right into one of my favorite parts of this get-together, and that's recognizing our volunteer and our volunteer group of the year. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of the recipients, and then afterwards they may come up and shake hands with the mayor, get a picture, and accept their awards. So let's hold applause until I've gone over both of these. So choosing these folks is always a challenge because we have such an abundance of incredibly giving people out in our community that are not only keeping things clean and healthy, but they're constantly looking for ways to further enhance and improve our park and trail system. The recipient of our Volunteer of the Year award applied for a grant with the Arkansas Flower and Garden Show back in the fall of 2016, and she ended up receiving a $4,000 grant to build 2 demonstration beds along the Razorback Greenway. One is at the 0 mile marker, and the other is at the end of 13th Street in Walker Park. She spent many hours leading a group of Master Naturalist volunteers in project planning, growing plants, prepping the ground, getting everything planted, and it ended up being a year-long process. And though these plants are still being established because they were just installed back in October and November, this is going to be a showcase for a real nice variety of native vegetation that our Master Naturalists have grown. And it's going to be an asset to our park and trail system as they develop. It's a real delight to work with someone who is so passionate and excited about what they are committed to. And if you know Rose Gergerich, then you know what I mean. So we want to acknowledge and give you a warm thank you, Rose, for bringing this beautiful project to us and for your commitment and unrelenting dedication to the project over the last year. The recipient of our Volunteer Group of the Year award has had a long-standing relationship with Fayetteville Parks and Recreation, starting back in 2010 when they began work rebuilding nature trails out at Lake Fayetteville. Since that time, they've continued to dedicate numerous hours to bringing new and top-notch mountain biking features to our parks that are enabling users of all skill levels to engage in our outdoor spaces. In the fall of 2016, they began renovating, rerouting, and rebuilding a set of eroded and overgrown foot and bike trails out at Gregory Park. And with their volunteers dedicating almost 700 hours to the project since that time. And they've continued to make improvements in the park, landing a grant from the Walton Family Foundation for a newly installed pump track. If y'all haven't been out there, that's a really nice feature that's out there now. And they have plans for a future flow trail. The group has also dedicated just under 900 hours at Kessler Mountain in the last year, rerouting trails and adding technical mountain biking features. So if you haven't figured out who I'm talking about, the organization is Ozark Off-Road Cyclists. And we want to say thank you for your vision and for bringing new kinds of experiences to our community and our parks, and especially for your ever infectious enthusiasm in doing so. You guys are leaders in our community, and we're so grateful to have you. Thank you. If y'all want to please come up and shake hands with the mayor, we'll give you your awards.
I'm familiar with how those work.
Okay, so this is for Rose. Y'all come on up front. We want everyone to acknowledge everybody. And Byron can get a picture for you guys.
We're going around. We're going around.
Sure.
This thing is sharp, watch out.
All right, everybody here.
Just goes to our tool cache. There's about 70 tools that we carry around with us.
Rose wanted to take just like 20 seconds to say something.
Okay, first of all, I'm just the person who wrote the grant. There are dozens of master naturalists that were part of the effort putting in these native plant beds. Second of all, the city was great as a cooperating agency with this. I mean, anything we asked for, we got. Thank you, Christina. Thirdly, we're planning another project along the Greenway. We're hoping this is sort of an up-and-coming thing where we have different highlights along the Greenway. And this one will be a vine display garden. So we're going to come looking for you again. Thank you.
All native vines, right?
Yes.
Let's give them all one more round of applause. Oh, and before I keep going, these are slides of our volunteers over the past year, so you might recognize some of yourselves in these pictures, but this just shows how busy you guys have been. So it's really important to us that each of you understands just how much we value what you do for Fayetteville Parks and Rec, for your city, for your community, and for your environment. And every year I like to take just a few minutes to recognize some of the projects and the people who are doing this incredible work, because I want everyone here to understand the collective impact that your efforts make. And I'm going to start with litter cleanups, because cleaning up trash and debris is really the biggest part of our Parks volunteering program. This year we had over 85 organizations and hundreds of individuals participate in 130 cleanup events, and that comes out to roughly 2 cleanups per week to address litter in our park areas. Some of the leaders for our larger litter events include the Beaver Watershed Alliance, Lake Fayetteville Watershed Partnership, and the Washington County Extension Agency. All of these groups coordinate cleanups on our waterways and park and trail areas. And between the 3 annual spring and fall lake cleanups and the Earth Day trail cleanup, we collected 4,400 pounds of trash in those areas and removed that. And that does not include the 630 pounds of recyclables that were collected and diverted from the waste stream. So that's just in 4 cleanups. It made a huge impact. We've also been collaborating with the university, the Northwest Arkansas Tobacco and Drug-Free Coalition, and the Washington County Extension Agency to host a variety of cleanups. Make a Difference Day and Rock Camp, which is the annual incoming freshman orientation that the university hosts. And during these events, students get to get out and explore the trail system and the downtown area while picking up litter and cigarette butts. And speaking of cigarette butts, they collected 20 pounds of cigarette butts this year, just over the span of a couple of cleanups. So we could be doing this every month and probably collecting that much. The cool thing about that is Colin Massey with the Extension Office collects that stuff up and he sends it into a company called TerraCycle, and they upcycle those filters into other products. So there's a bright lining to that. Even though these larger cleanups are really important, especially in terms of shining a light and having a conversation about litter in our outdoors, the smaller daily cleanups that occur through our ADOPT program are how we really manage our outdoors and keep those spaces clean on a regular and daily basis. Some of the groups and individuals doing these cleanups include, this is kind of a long list, but I just want y'all to hear it. And this isn't everybody. This is basically representative of people who are here. So we've got Ben Owens, Shelter Insurance, Bob Walsh, Chartwells, the Craig family, Cub Scout Pack 46, Fayetteville Master Naturalists, Fayetteville Natural Heritage Association, Fossil Cove, Generations Health and Wellness, Holcomb Girl Scouts, U of A Honors College, Northwest Arkansas Land Trust, NWA Charitable Gamers Organization, U of A Women's Swim and Dive Team, Specialized Real Estate, Sarah Smith, Sequoia Kiwanis Club, Temple Shalom, Tyson, the U of A Microelectronics Photonics Graduate Program, Uncle Sam's, Unitarian Universalists, Walton College, and if I've missed somebody on terms of litter cleanup, please forgive me. It's just an incredible amount of groups doing this work. There are others too, but you guys are the ones that are getting out continuously and taking care of these spaces multiple times a year. And so we thank you for this, because these smaller scale cleanups are really essential to maintaining what everybody sees on their daily trek to work on the trail, when they're going to visit the park. And it's really also important because it helps the litter from further accumulating in our waterways and causing larger problems downstream that costs a lot of money to deal with, to mitigate. Another major area of volunteer work is the performance of invasive species removal and habitat restoration, and the mayor touched on that a little bit. We're really fortunate to have a lot of individuals and organizations who are very passionate about protecting our Ozarks ecosystem. In fact, this year volunteers spent 2,400 hours removing invasives and replanting areas, which is roughly 20% of our volunteer hours this year. So that's a good chunk of time that people spent on that work. And these events took place all across the park system: Gully Park, Veterans, Brooks Hummel, Great House, Gregory, Finger, Red Oak, the World Peace Wetland Prairie, Walker Park, Wilson Park, Kessler Mountain, and the Town Branch and Mud Creek Trails. Our partners on these cleanups include the Beaver Watershed Alliance, Washington County Extension Agency, Greedy Goats of Northwest Arkansas, Fayetteville Environmental Action Committee, the Fayetteville Natural Heritage Association, Modus Studio, NWA Charitable Gamers Organization, OORC, the U.S. Green Building Council, IRWP, Friends of the World Peace Wetland Prairie, and the U of A Recycle Bags. So I want to go over just a few highlights from these events. The Fayetteville Environmental Action Committee hosted 3 removal events at Veterans Park. They're opening up the view shed between the parking lot and the lake. They've actually, I think, hosted 4 events up there, and they're going to be doing another one on February 28th in conjunction with OORC. So if you guys are looking for something to do to wind down your evening, come out and help. It'll be a fun time. Modus Studio adopted Frisco Trail last year and had 3 invasive removal events to help open up the understory along that area. During the work at Kessler and Gregory, Ozark off-road cyclists removed tons and tons and tons of privet and honeysuckle in order to get those trails built. As a part of a large grant, the Beaver Watershed Alliance is creating an ecological restoration and urban forest management plan for the Mount Sequoia Woods and has been pretty busy hosting numerous events there. They also hosted 2 invasive pools in Walker Park and multiple rain garden maintenance events there as well. We also had Eagle Scout candidate Daniel Jarvis bring out 43 volunteers to remove invasive privet and honeysuckle in Gully Park between the 2 footbridges. It's about a half-acre area. And as a follow-up to that work, they're going to be coming back with the Illinois River Watershed Partnership and planting saplings on March 10th. So that'll be a great way to wrap up that work that they did. And, oh, of course, we can't forget our 4 favorite 4-legged volunteers, Greedy Goats of Northwest Arkansas, who came out to Wilson Park to munch away on some invasives, and they also provided some petting opportunities for the kiddos. So we've primarily been talking about plant removal, but we've also had several planting projects over the last year. Illinois River Watershed Partnership hosted their annual riparian project where they brought out dozens of university and high school students to plant 150 native shrubs and trees along Clabber Creek Trail, and they also brought out a big group of volunteers this fall to plant along Skull Creek and Wilson Park. Tau Beta Pi planted trees donated to us by the Beaver Watershed Alliance at Great House, and a group of 15 volunteers from Randall G. Lynch Middle School in Farmington planted 200 native trees and shrubs in Walker Park, where we have been removing invasives along the creek that they acquired through a highly competitive STEM and Action grant, our Army grant. So in addition to litter and habitat projects, we also have a lot of volunteer groups who do a wide variety of other types of work. Another one of our Eagle Scout candidates, Jordan Marsh, who was able to get out of school and join us today, thank you Jordan, brought together 42 volunteers to build and install 2 really nice footbridges out at Lake Wilson. So if you guys are out at Lake Wilson and see the newly constructed footbridges, that was the work of he and his pack, his den. I'm not sure what the lingo is. I know it changes every year. The Holcomb Girl Scout troop built and installed and is monitoring 4 bluebird boxes around Gary Hampton softball fields. And then our Northwest Arkansas naturalists, we have a group of folks who built several bluebird boxes a couple years back and have distributed those across our parks and are monitoring those on a regular basis. Our Washington County Master Gardeners help out our horticulturists by taking care of beds at Mud Creek Trail, Braden Park, Wilson Park, and our trail trekkers ride the trails and report maintenance concerns. One of our new volunteers, Hal Cuff, has been sending in weekly reports on trail issues the last few months that have been incredibly helpful to our maintenance staff. And then we have lots of special interest activity groups who are doing infrastructure work and upkeep in our parks. So Lake Sequoia Riding Club is out on the trails regularly picking up litter and performing trail maintenance as they're out riding. Our longtime volunteer organizations, the Ozark Volleyball Association, Ozark Flyers Model Aircraft Club, and the NWA Horseshoe Pitching Association, all help with the upkeep of park spaces that they use, and we really appreciate their diligence and partnership in the maintenance of these facilities. Last, we also have tremendous support from individuals in the general community and from the University of Arkansas, where student and Greek organizations put in hundreds of hours every year doing cleanups and a variety of other types of projects. So it doesn't capture everything, but it's a snapshot of what y'all have been up to in the last year. And I just really wanted everyone to see how much you guys accomplished in a year's time just volunteering with Fayetteville Parks and Rec.